Hi there, and welcome to this cultural anthropology class here at Lake Tahoe Community College, Anthro 102, which is taught here on the Canvas learning management platform. I wanted to today focus on 4 areas that I thought would be interesting areas and opportunities for you to consider how to think about cultural anthropology in the first week or 2 of the quarter. And these, I think, are particularly important if you haven't taken a social science class in the past. Some of the ways that we approach issues, cultures, people, conversations, debates in this class, I think maybe differ from some of the other classes that you've had. On the one hand, we stress a very scientific view of the world. On the other hand, we realize that humans are very fickle, they're variable. Humans are often contradictory in terms of their belief systems, in terms of how they understand the world and how they express themselves. And the world is inherently subjective in some curious and sometimes alarming ways. So it makes it, I think, a little bit more challenging to consider some of the issues that we do in the class. But at the same time, I think there are possibilities there to move forward, particularly in this first week of the class, and to focus on some areas in some ways that maybe we haven't in the past. So these are 4 opportunities to think about cultural anthropology and some of the issues in some new ways, and I think these are foundations, I would say, of Anthro 102. The first of these is the opportunity to explore the world. And this relates really to curiosity that we might have about other cultures, about other belief systems, about other peoples. I often encourage students in my classes to travel the world as much as you can. Travel your own culture and country, whether you live in China or sub-Saharan Africa or the southwestern part of the United States. Travel the world, explore different regions, learn new cultures, see new places, eat some different cuisines. In fact, there's another video I've done before this one that talks about cultural relativism in the areas of food and belief systems and travel. And I make the point in that video that you should use the opportunity to take a class like cultural anthropology to really explore more about the world, to learn about yourself, to learn about others, and to presumably challenge yourself and your own biases and perspectives and contradictions that maybe are a part of you and your consciousness, even though you're not aware of that fact. So it's an opportunity also to be more objective about yourself and to see the world in new ways. It really does relate to the idea of diversity. So if you can travel, if you can take part in a study abroad program, it's a great opportunity to open up your eyes to new people, to new cultures, new possibilities, and new ways of living out there. The next of these is related to last, and this is to challenge yourself. And I think it really does follow from the first one, because if I go and visit another culture and I'm eating in new ways and I'm trying new foods, I'm realizing the customs of, say, going to the bathroom are entirely different, or the customs of ordering a meal or eating a meal are different. The ways that families organize themselves in terms of their everyday activities, or how you go shopping in that culture, or any number of other issues. If I'm presented with that, I have opportunities to do really one of 2 things. I can challenge that and say, I don't like this. I really prefer my own culture. I want to get out of here. So if I'm in France and I encounter challenges with language, or I experience what's called culture shock in anthropology, which is a feeling akin to panic that develops when you're in an unfamiliar cultural setting, often induced by travel and some of the everyday or quotidian things that we experience while we're traveling. If I experience culture shock and I say to myself, I have to escape this, I'm going to run to something more familiar. So maybe if it's a food form of culture shock, I run to find the KFC or the McDonald's in France where I'm visiting. Then that's, I think, an unfortunate example of how to respond to cultural difference. Instead, I think you could challenge yourself a little bit and respond in a much different way. Try to gain some insights about what's happening, about why you feel the contradiction, about why you feel the culture shock, about why you feel this sense of panic when you're in the new cultural setting. So I think it's an opportunity to challenge yourself and develop what we call the reflexive approach. Reflexivity refers to thinking about yourself critically. It's akin really to looking in a mirror, looking at yourself, and challenging some of your own stereotypes, challenging your own biases, challenging the contradictions that you experience when you visit another culture and you partake in that culture and sometimes feel a sense of culture shock. So it really does refer to an opportunity here in cultural anthropology to challenge yourself, however that might take place. Third, discover things on your own. And when you discover something on your own, it's often an opportunity to gain new insights. I think in 2017 and 2018, if you watch the news in the United States, you've no doubt heard about all the issues related to the presidential election, Russian meddling, social media, and it's not just in the case of the US presidential election. We're hearing of things happening in Myanmar or Burma related to the oppression of Muslims there that also ties in with social media. In fact, I turn on the news and there's a news story almost daily about how social media and some kind of fake or faux news is being used to influence something, and in some cases this has a life or death consequence for people in the particular culture or place where it's happening. So this is an opportunity to discover things on your own. If you're reading the news, if you hear a friend of yours say something, make an assertion, look that information up. See if you can verify whether or not it's true or not. And if you can't verify it, keep looking. Keep challenging yourself, challenge the information. And in cultural anthropology, this refers to method. We'll talk about all the methods in cultural anthropology, including field work and participant observation, that really allow you to discover how the world is on your own, in terms of your own terms. It's a great opportunity that instead of listening to someone else narrate what the world is like or how the world is, you discover it on your own terms, using methods if they're appropriate for the given case, culture, or situation at hand. And then lastly is an opportunity to use the information that you have, which is often theoretical in nature, and even if you've conducted research and done some field methods, maybe you don't have all the information at hand needed to make a firm conclusion, but you nonetheless think about solutions and do what's called applying anthropology. By applying anthropology, you take some of the ideas that you gained from your research, from your theoretical observations about the world, its people, its cultures, its customs, and you apply those to practical situations in everyday life. So I think it's an opportunity really to say that anthropology doesn't just have to be a set of disconnected facts or terms or definitions, and indeed in this class you will use some of those terms and definitions on the exams, but really look at things more broadly and use cultural anthropology as an opportunity to consider solutions for pressing problems that you maybe encounter, for ideas at challenging some of the issues of oppression that you note in the world, and as really a way to raise awareness and insights about other cultures and opportunities out there for new considerations and new ways of looking at the world. I hope you have a good class this quarter in cultural anthropology here, Anthro 102 at Lake Tahoe Community College. And if you use these 4 areas of exploring the world, challenging yourself, discovering things on your own, and considering solutions, it might be one way of looking at the materials in the first 2 weeks of the class in some ways that maybe put things into perspective and also give you an opportunity to move beyond the traditional confines of academic classes, moving beyond the book, moving beyond the definitions and theories that we'll consider, and really getting into the nitty-gritty of what this class might mean to you, to your friends, your family, your colleagues, particularly as you continue to move, and I think what is a more complex and in some ways contradictory and challenging world that we all live in. So good luck in this class this quarter. Again, if issues come up, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I hope you have a good first couple weeks in this class as you work on your discussion posts and begin to think about some of the opportunities of learning about cultural anthropology here at Lake Tahoe Community College.